Is it possible that Lincoln Center is going out of fashion? Well, Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week is well underway, and with high-profile designers, including Michael Kors and Diane von Furstenberg, opting out of shows at Lincoln Center in favor of other venues, the energy in the tents is noticeably different. This year's award season is upon us, and everyone is buzzing about the Oscar nominations out today, or more accurately, the Oscar snubs. A few names noticeably absent from the list of nominees are Oprah Winfrey for her role in Lee Daniels' The Butler and Tom Hanks for his work in Captain Phillips. But snubs aside, fans expect to see a few breakout stars emerge this year, including Lupita Nyong'o, who starred in the critically acclaimed 12 Years a Slave. The Academy Awards will be held in Los Angeles on March 2nd. For bargain shoppers, this week brought some disappointing news. After 93 years in business, Loehmann's has filed for bankruptcy and announced it will close all stores nationwide by March, including this branch in Manhattan. But consider grabbing bargain basement prices while you still can. $100 for a Prada blouse or just $30 for a pair of J-brand jeans? Count me in. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio took office just 44 days ago and is already facing public scrutiny. The mayor is coming under attack for not closing the city's schools yesterday when forecasters predicted up to 14 inches of snow would fall. Less than 50% of the city's students showed up for class, prompting the mayor to say his decision was based on imperfect information about the forecast. There's only one place where you can buy a cronut now. The name of the popular croissant donut hybrid has been officially trademarked by Dominique Ansel Bakery in New York. This tasty pastry rose to popularity in May and has since become somewhat of a food phenomenon, with people waiting in line for hours just to get a taste. And I have to say, the accolades are well deserved. Governor Christie is on damage control today after reports surfaced that members of his administration were responsible for lane closures approaching the George Washington Bridge in September. The closures that caused traffic tie-ups were reportedly payback after the mayor of Fort Lee, New Jersey announced he would not support Christie's re-election bid. Christie denies any knowledge of the scandal that's being called Bridgegate and has fired the staffer who sent emails that led to the lane closures. We're here at New York's third annual Cupid's Undie Run, where runners like myself have stripped down to their Valentine's Day best to raise money for the Children's Tumor Foundation. It's a chilly 33 degrees out here today, but that is not stopping these enthusiastic runners from spreading the love. Pop star Justin Bieber may be rethinking some of his choices after finding himself in a Miami jail early this morning. The 19-year-old singer was arrested and charged with drunken driving, resisting arrest, and driving without a valid license after police caught him street racing in a yellow Lamborghini in a residential area of Miami Beach. Bieber's arrest spawned more than 4 million tweets in just 24 hours. It's a plot right out of a movie. Mobsters, murders, and a multi-million-dollar heist.
Handcuffed them and forced them to open a security room or safe or whatever you want to call it.
But this isn't a tale constructed by Hollywood writers. It's the real-life story of the 1978 Lufthansa airline heist that inspired the 1990 film Goodfellas.
Are you stupid or what? Did you hear what I said? Don't buy anything, don't get anything, nothing big. Did you hear what I said? What's the matter with you?
And now, more than 35 years after the masked gunman made off with nearly $6 million worth of cash and jewels at JFK Airport, the FBI says they can bring the suspects to justice for the crime and others. Former NYPD investigator Joseph Coffey.
We had the people who were responsible for this robbery back in 1978-79 when it happened, but we couldn't prove it.
But now, investigators say they finally have a case against 5 alleged members of the Bonanno crime family, including 78-year-old Vincent Asaro. His attorney says his client is innocent.
He got rousted out of bed this morning at 6 o'clock for something that he didn't do.
The Lufthansa heist was the largest robbery in the U.S. Investigators say they uncovered at least 8 murders tied to the crime. 4 of the 5 men pleaded not guilty today here in federal court. They face a number of charges, including murder, racketeering, and armed robbery. In New York, I'm Nina Tyler. 5 years after the emergency water landing of U.S. Airways Flight 1549 on the Hudson River, the anniversary marked a time to celebrate life and survival and to reflect back on a truly harrowing experience. For those on the flight captained by Sully Sullenberger, the memories of that day are still vivid. The plane was forced to make the emergency landing after a flock of geese hit the engine when it took off from LaGuardia Airport.
It was about 60 seconds after we took off. That's when I heard the explosion.
Passenger Dave Sanderson thought his life was going to end when the plane crashed down.
The entire movie of my life passed before my eyes.
But the impact that Sanderson was expecting, thankfully, never came. All of the 155 souls on board survived.
We as a group just want to thank all of you.
So on this day, the passengers celebrated the courage of Captain Sully and the flight crew, knowing what could have been.
We all got a second chance. This is a special time for all of us.
And it was all thanks to one man, their captain.
Had even one person not survived, I personally couldn't have celebrated any of this.
Since the crash, Captain Sullenberger retired, wrote 2 books, and is now a speaker and consultant. But he says what happened here 5 years ago will always be with him. In New York, I'm Nina Tyler.